in that middle section between the graveyard and the back gate there. So could potentially go for any of the survivors in that row. We'll have to see how this plays out.
Yeah, this will be really wonderful to see. We got Elsie on the Prospector, we got Zero on the Patient there, we got Anomaly on the Acrobat, and we got Shuni on the Mercenary. And of course, as we've said a million times, we got Godjay on the Wax Artist. This is going to be great. We're going to hop right in soon. You know, remember your Nelamello clients. Be loud, chat, chit-chat, get excited. Lizzie and I are going to take it from here. Let's go! Godjay starts. You know, we're starting with the spawn. We're going to transition over here to the church. I'm going to go through. You know, it's better than walking all the way around. And we're going to see what survivors we can find first. It seems to be LC on the Prospector, Lychee.
Yes, indeed. And Godjay here just going to loop around and follow those Prospector footprints there, tilting the screen down to activate the trait that allows him to walk a little bit faster there. And we did see actually on the topic of traits that Godjay didn't choose to bring Insolence, which many times Wax Artists may do, but actually has brought Trump Card for additional flexibility there. But we'll just see how this kite plays out here. Godjay already trying to accumulate wax onto that Prospector and has 100%, able to get that Prospector stuck in place and get that first hit on the Prospector fairly early in this game here, Veronica.
Yeah, we're going to see that Prospector utilize that pallet there after throwing it in order to gain some distance, which is going to be really good. You know, you want to get that distance, but now cannot use this window. Godjay's going to vault it. Unfortunately, there's a magnet there hiding and waiting for him. Oh! Blink and a Terror Shock on the Prospector!
My goodness, yes. So that blink was just up right, and just as it came up on after cooldown, Godjay was able to utilize that on the Prospector, who very unfortunately was slow vaulting as well. And now we have the Prospector on the chair with still 5 ciphers remaining to be popped here. So going fairly well for Godjay so far. But we'll have to see how this plays out on the survivor side. Like you mentioned earlier, Veronica, only one survivor with the tie turner here, who is the Mercenary, and we do see that actually the Mercenary is not the one in the vicinity, but is the one continuing to decode, while the other survivors here are coming over to the chair. So we'll see if they decide to go for this rescue or not. Seems like if they do, it might be a rescue right before the chair takes off.
Sometimes you just have to cut your losses there. That Terror Shock was a really beautiful play on the side of Godjay, and you know, LC was kiting so well right up until that point. So we're going to have to be careful here, but we do see the Patient actually coming in for this rescue, but it's going to be really, really close. Not sure if the Patient will be able to make it in time. You know, just a straight thing of wax here, and is stopped, but manages to get the rescue off last minute. No tie turner utilized, so the LC does go down right away. You know, taking that hit, you don't really have much you can do in this situation, and will be sent back to the manor placed on this chair. Ciphers are looking okay. They're not great, but they're about as good as they can be, and you know, they're doing their best in order to fight really hard against Godjay here. MP is currently working on some teamwork. It looks like they potentially might be going in for healing each other. They're transitioning. They want to try and make sure to get out of the way.
Right, and we do see that Godjay here is on the hunt for the next survivor. Unfortunately, it hasn't run into anybody so far. I was thinking maybe you would be able to catch sight of the Patient, but it looks like they were able to loop around there. Godjay there, though, we do see that he has full presence by now. Blink is not quite yet ready, but by the time that he finds the next survivor, perhaps it will be. We do see that, like you mentioned though, Veronica, they are prioritizing healing up, and it looks like they're actually having Acrobat perhaps stand out and take that second kite just to catch Godjay's attention before he catches onto those survivors healing over there. So we'll see how much time this Acrobat can bring for the teammates there as they continue to kite and decode here. Flywheel being into play just to gain some additional distance, but unfortunately getting hit here, the pallet's already destroyed on this area here, so Acrobat will be looking to transition right now.
Oh, what an interesting play. You know, uses the bomb to get away, but is actually got by the right outer of the wax, you know, right on the edge of it. Very unfortunate for Anomaly here, who, you know, was making a really good job of transitioning away, but will be placed on the chair right here in the middle. Everything's going It's going pretty all right. Gotche's really, really pulling it through here. Not a lot of Cypher progress has been done due to that healing, and it's going to block off the Cypher here in the center. Probably going to pressure the Cyphers as much as possible and continue to patrol around the area of this chair. We see the Mercenary come in, who does have the Tide Turner on the team, and uses that elbow pad to gain some distance. Consider smelting that window for just a second, but that would have ended not so great. Gonna use the Searing Wax here in order to get that hit, and now has to take a full damage in order to get this Acrobat off the chair. So Acrobat is going to be very careful about how he kites, because otherwise we're looking at a double down situation, Lychee.
Yes, definitely. And we do see here, Gotche does have the blink ready as well. So actually does utilize that right now. Utilizes the blink and downs the Acrobat as he was vaulting over that pallet there. So Gotche, although he ended up stepping in that fireball, it's no matter because he's going to have the Acrobat back on the chair, and the Mercenary, like you mentioned, actually took full damage, so it went down after the Tide Turner as well. So that really puts Gotche in an advantageous situation. I mean, survivors only have one Cypher left, but they're going to have one survivor on the ground and the other one going into rescue, so nobody's going to be decoding right now. Patient there going in for the rescue was able to pull off against the Acrobat and block some of the wax there, but unfortunately, Gotche is just going to be able to down the Acrobat with a normal hit here. So this is going to be Acrobat's elimination. Gotche looking strong so far. We do see that Mercenary Cypher is nearly done. However, it'll be remain to be seen if Gotche can get another hit in before they pop that Cypher.
Yeah, actually going... Oh, and the Cypher is popped right as Gotche is coming over to block it off in order to continue to pressure these survivors. We now have a full health Mercenary on this final kite here. You're going to want to buy as much time as you can for that patient to get a gate open and get out. And as we saw earlier, the dungeon is in that corner area, just kind of closer to the gate. Gonna want to be really careful here. Transitioning away, currently chasing with the wax, you want to get that stop on him. And best case scenario, you want to be able to get 100 on the Mercenary and then use that Searing Wax in order to get the hit, and then an immediate down because the Mercenary will be on half health.
Yes, and we do see that the Mercenary there almost has quite a lot of wax on him as well. Acrobat was opening the other gate, and although being a slow gate opener should be able to escape, Mercenary does have an elbow pad left though, and indeed uses that elbow pad. Gotche actually has trump card to switch it and has switched to teleport there, but Mercenary looks like he's actually going to be able to run to the dungeon and jump right in. So actually this is going to be a tie there for the survivor side. Really narrow escape there, but we did see that, in the end game, the Mercenary was able to
really up and ready to go. There's a lot that Postman can accomplish in this current meta and might be quite a pain for Moru.
Yes, definitely. So we will have to see how this plays out, but into the game already. So Moru there on the chase, heading straight for the middle where we saw the Postman was. Down in the corner there, we do see that this Bonbon has Trump card this time, as well as Detention. So Detention, Trump card, and is going to loop around the church looking for that first survivor there, but already running into the bees. Entomologist actually retracting those bees so that she can use them for later. But looks like Entomologist is actually going to be the first find that Moru runs into after making that loop around the church here.
Really can be a pain, but with Bonbon you do have that ability where you can throw the bombs, which means that you don't necessarily have to walk through those bees every single time. You can still land those hits without getting that close to the Entomologist, which, can be a lot of a hassle for her. And we're going to see this chase around here. We're going to see the Entomologist go in and try and loop this area, but one full body hit and the Entomologist will go down, Lychee. You want to try and prolong this kite as long as possible to get that decoding done. You want to get those ciphers popped.
Yes, and Bonbon we do see has blink here and utilizes that already, but misses the blink hit. Oh my goodness, Veronica. So the Entomologist there did some really good jukes there, perhaps even predicting that blink, I'm not sure, but was able to avoid that very narrowly and actually transition over to an area with additional pallets. We do see that the bees are unfortunately on cooldown and almost used up, but the forward is now coming into play to support as well, and already utilizing the football there. A very long football, but Moru was able to spot him out and just get that hit there. But although forward did have to take that hit, it bought quite a bit of time for the Entomologist to transition on into a different area.
Absolutely, so much going on here. The Entomologist is able to prolong that kite from earlier. Still has some B to utilize, gonna put it in the way of Moru here, who we know now does not have that blink to utilize any longer. So can definitely place those Bs there without expecting there to be a blink that'll prevent that. But the remote bomb, Moru has these really beautiful remote bombs that are just so fun to watch. Really well timed, gets the survivors right on them and clicks them right away, and then almost always a down. Just absolutely wonderful play on both sides here. Was able to kite out to 2 ciphers being finished, which is very beneficial to the survivor team. And that's only first tier after that forward support from earlier, Lychee.
Yes, definitely true. And we do see the Acrobat here is actually going to try to come in for a rescue. Does have bombs to work with here, but is just trying to close in on the chair, it looks like. And taking that basic hit from the Bonbon, but was able to accomplish his mission there of doing that rescue in the end. We do see that bomb coming into play actually chipped the Acrobat there, who will be going down after Tide Turner is over. So if Moru is able to get that Entomologist down before Tide Turner is over, it will be a double down. And it looks like that is the case. Like you mentioned, Veronica, Moru there with the bombs is just so accurate at aiming those and timing those right. So really impressive that he's been able to utilize that to get these downs here. On the survivor side, they were doing pretty well for their side as well, getting those ciphers done. And right now it looks like they're actually going for the heal. The down on Acrobat did set them back a little bit more. So it looks like they actually, though, have the forward coming in here for the rescue, Veronica.
Wow! And gonna use that flywheel in order to get away, but still takes the last effort from Moru, who just manages to, get the Entomologist in an area where, she will still take a hit. Acrobat's fully healed, they're still pushing those ciphers. Entomologist is going all the way down here into the basement in order to actually push Moru as far away from the survivors pushing cipher machines as possible, Lychee, which is just wonderful teamwork on the side of Comeback.
Yes, just adding those extra seconds there for the Bonbon to have to go down there and pick her up and chair her. We do see that on the survivor side, they are already on the last ciphers as well. Bonbon still with Blink here, not quite yet switched to teleport, but survivors seem to be preventing that possibility, and indeed, they definitely made the right choice to do so, because Moru has switched to teleport in a very decisive play here and is already on the postman here, utilizing the flywheel but unable to completely prevent that bomb from getting hit. Moru there just doing a really good job with those chain bombs as usual, and on the hunt for this postman, closing in on the distance quite quickly now.
We're gonna find the judges in that area. The postman knew where it was already and set it the forward, but Moru may also know now, which will be very beneficial for endgame. This Paperboy's, he's just gonna loop around to the best of his ability. But another one of those beautiful remote bombs, and this poor postman happens to go down right next to a chair that can be used. And, ciphers are being pushed. They're gonna maybe come in for this rescue after one is primed. They're gonna maybe just continue to push them. But now with one remaining, it seems that the Acrobat can come in for that rescue and the forward can push this cipher. But Moru is transitioning over to that cipher, the same one that was being primed last time in the last match, actually, Lychee.
Yes, oh my goodness, this seems to be the infamous last cipher here. And we do see that Bonbon there is closing in on the forward, but actually forward now at half health actually another chip there coming in there. So Moru there, we'll have to see if he's able to down the forward there and actually be able to get him on the chair before the cipher is primed. We do see that the other survivors have already rescued and should be on their way to keep decoding as well. Forward there, actually utilizing the very last edge of his football to avoid that hit, but in the end still gets knocked down there as Moru will be putting him on the rocket chair. And we do see 72 as the Acrobat making his way towards that cipher that was had so much progress on it. But Moru also is able to chair the forward in the vicinity, so being able to potentially camp out that last cipher before they're able to prime it here.
Yeah, going to be forced to come in for this rescue, right away. Going to try and get this prime to the best of his ability, and it is really close, but it is a race against time. You want to be able to not get those downs, but going to go down, and that cipher is not at a, tappable prime, so we're going to have to see what they can do here. The Acrobat's going to have to transition away from it and abandon it for now. There's a lot going on, and that forward is going to go back on chair. The Acrobat would have to come back in for a rescue if anyone was going to, but with one chip on, has to be really, really careful with these bombs.
Yes, and we do see the postman is actually running into the area as well. So I'm wondering if they're going to try to make a push and all go for that last cipher if they're able to pull off the rescue. But unfortunately, the acrobat got chipped. So this is putting them in a really dangerous situation here where they might not even be able to pull off this rescue here, even with 2 survivors coming in. We'll have to see how this plays out here. Just this red carpet of bombs here. Acrobat coming in finally and going down already. Unfortunately, but we do see the forward was able to get rescued. So they're going to make a rush for this cipher pop. But it seems like Moru's actually going to be able to pick up the forward before the postman pops that cipher. It at least allows the acrobat to get up and running. But forward will be eliminated here, Veronica.
Yeah. There's a lot going on here, and just so much. That cipher pop was, they really fought for that. You had two people on sort of a 75 health with which they were down with 1 bomb, which the forward was. The acrobat had gone down. They create a second red carpet there. You're totally right, Lychee. This acrobat is going to transition over to the red carpet in question now, the real one. We might fill it with more bombs and create a second one, which is double. Gonna vault right over this with a beautiful bomb. Gonna use the firebomb in order to try and prevent more bombs, but more skillfully just evades it, walks right around it. The remote bomb brings another down, and the teleport is utilized to put more pressure on this postman, Lychee.
My goodness, Veronica. Looking at that gate progress there, that gate was so close to being open, already greater than 90%. So coming in here with the teleport just in time to cut off that postman from completing the gate. And the acrobat there is going to have to try to heal up while the postman kites this out. And this is a detention bonbon as well, adding the pressure onto the survivors even more. So far, postman has been able to keep up the kite for quite a while now. So we'll see if Moru can take him down with this last remote bomb and does manage to do so. So at least is able to get the postman down and potentially chair as well. We'll see if he does decide to chair or to just drop and go for the acrobat. But it looks like at this point, just going to chair and be safe. Acrobat, still out there in the running, and the survivors should know where the dungeon is as well as that gate that's almost open. So does have a couple of possibilities. Is giving off crows though, so we do see that Moru is making a beeline, and at this point it's just a foot race between the two.
We're going to see what happens here. No fly build to utilize on the acrobat. This acrobat, he's really seen carrying tie turner as we see here, trying to finish this gate, and does manage to do it. Is he going to get out? And he does! And that bomb knocks him right out of the gate, Lychee. What an exciting endgame match again!